Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello, I am Adnan Al-Imad. Today, I will be explaining the first part of language review, number 1, grade 12, page 4, comparison and contrast. Let's start with comparison. Comparative and superlative forms of adjectives. It's the first one of comparison. Let's start with the comparative adjectives. So, what do you mean by comparative adjectives? Comparative adjectives, we use it to compare between two people, two things, two ideas, two places. For example, let's start with the adjective old. Hassan is older than Ali. Older. It's comparative adjective. Compare between Hassan and Ali. So you say Hassan is older than Ali. We use superlative adjectives to compare between one person and more than one person, or to compare between one thing and more than thing, or to compare one place and more than one place, or to compare between one idea and more than one idea. For example, Yusuf is the oldest one in the class. Compare between Yusuf and all of the pupils in the class. The oldest. For adjectives with one syllable, so we use adjective plus er, adjective plus er, or adjective plus est. But first of all, what do you mean by syllable? Syllable is a word or a part of word which contains one vowel sound. So adjectives with one syllable, use adjective plus er or est. For example, tall, taller, the tallest. Old, older, the oldest. If an adjective ends in one vowel and one consonant, double the consonant, as in big, bigger, the biggest. Thin, thinner, the thinnest. It's number 2. Number 3, if the adjective ends in letter E, just add R or ST. For example, white, whiter, the whitest. Safe, safer, the safest. Number 4, for two syllable adjectives that end in Y, change the Y to I and add er or est. For example, pretty, prettier, the prettiest. Funny, funnier, the funniest. Number 5, some two-syllable adjectives use either er, est, or most, more and most. Why? Because it depends on the stress for two-syllable adjectives. If the stress is on the first syllable, so use er, est, or more and most. But what do you mean by stress? Stress is the force or emphasis that you put in a word or a part of a word when you say it. For example, let's start with the first word, clever. Look here, the stress in the first syllable, clever, gentle, friendly. When we make them comparative and superlative, we say clever, cleverer, the cleverest, or clever, more clever, the most clever, gentle, gentle, gentler, the gentlest, or gentle, more gentle, the most gentle. Number 3, for example, friendly. Look here, friendly. The stress in the first. So we say friendly, friendlier, the friendliest. Or we say friendly, more friendly, the most friendly. Add more or most to these two-syllable adjectives that end in ful. Ful. For example, careful, more careful, the most careful. Less, or LESS. Careless, more careless, the most careless. ING. Boring, more boring, the most boring. ED. For example, frightened, more frightened, the most frightened. OUS. Famous, more famous, the most famous. Adjectives with more than 2 syllables, add more or most to them, as in beautiful, 3 syllables, more beautiful, the most beautiful. Interesting, 4 syllables, more interesting, the most interesting. Note, the following adjectives don't follow the rules. We call them irregular adjectives. Irregular adjectives like good, better, the best. Or in adverb, well, better, the best. Bad, worse, the worst. Or badly, worse, the worst. Far, farther, further, the farthest, the furthest. Little, less, the least. Money, more, the most. Much, more, the most. All of them are irregular adjectives and they don't follow the rules we talked about them before. Note, don't double the consonant when the adjective ends in y, x, and w. For example, low, lower, just add er. The lowest, just add est. Gray, grayer, the grayest, just add er and est. Let's practice with this exercise. For example, circle the correct answer. Number 1, Paris is A, far, B, farther, C, farther, D, farthest north than Tokyo. So choose one. Which one is correct? So the correct answer is C, further. Number 2, I am A, short, the shortest, shorter, or a short person in our family. So here we compare between me and all of the rest of our family. So what's the answer? So the correct answer is the shortest. As we said, we compare between me and all of the rest of our family. So when we compare one person and more than one person, we used the superlative form. Number 3, flowers are little useful, the least useful, more useful, D useful, than trees useful. 2 syllables. Useful, 2 syllables. So here we can't use ER or EST, but use more and most or irregular adjectives. So a little, the least, more. So the correct answer is C. You say more useful. So flowers are more useful than trees. Again, we discussed about comparative and superlative form of adjectives. And we said for one syllable, we add ER or EST to the adjective. For most 2 syllables adjectives, more and most are added. Some 2 syllable adjectives use either ER, EST, or more and most. When I said this adjective has 2 syllables and the stress in the first, like clever, cleverer, the cleverest, or clever, more clever, the most clever, the most clever. ER and EST are added with 2 syllables adjectives that end in Y and the ching. Y to I. For example, funny, funnier, the funniest. More and most are used with the long adjective. Long adjective. 2 syllables, 3 syllables, 4 syllables, 5 syllables. And we discussed about irregular adjectives. Irregular adjectives are good, bad, far, little, much, many, are irregular adjectives, not add ER to the comparative or EST to the superlative. We said they are different. Let's discuss with far. We said far, farther, further, the farthest, the furthest. Both farther and further are used to compare physical distance. Physical distance. For example, I walked further than my friend did. But further also means additional. For example, I need further information. So further cannot be used when the meaning is additional. Now, welcome back to the coming lesson. As. Making comparisons with as, adjective as, or as, we used a positive statement with as, and negative statements with as. Let's start with as, with or in positive statements. We use positive statements with as to say that things are equal. things are equal. For example, he is tall. She is tall. Look here. We have two sentences and we want to join them together to become one sentence with using as. So we said he is as tall as she. Look, tall. Tall here in positive adjectives, not comparative, not superlative. So we use as adjective, tall in a positive adjective. We can't say taller or the tallest, but we say he is as tall as she. Also, as we said, we use negative statements as plus not to show that things are not equal. Things. Here I want to join them to become one sentence with using as, not. So we said my car is not as fast as yours or as your car. Note, this is the same as saying my car is slower than yours or your car is faster than mine. Let's practice with this exercise. Choose the correct answer. Flowers aren't as taller, the tallest, tall as trees. So what's the correct answer? So the correct answer is C. Flowers aren't as tall as trees. As we said before, as plus adjective, this adjective in positive adjective. We can't use comparative or superlative form of adjective. Exercise number 2. My nephew is much as old as my niece. So we said as adjective as. So what's the correct answer? The correct answer is C. As. My nephew is as old as my niece. Number 3. A pen is as A. More expensive. B. The most expensive. C. Expensive as a book. So what's the correct answer? The correct answer is C. Expensive. So a pen is as expensive as a book. Another exercise, spot the mistake. Number 1, he is as length as she. So what is the mistake? Look at this word, length. Length is adjective or it is a noun? It's a noun. And we said before as plus adjective, and adjective in positive adjective. So the correct answer is he is as tall as she. Well, it can also be used in a negative statement to show the things aren't equal. This word, same, is followed by a noun, not an adjective. Look at these two sentences. For example, he is tall. She is tall. So he and she are sharing the same idea, tall. And we want to join these two sentences in one sentence with using same. Same followed by noun. So the sentence should be, he is the same height as she. Look, height, not high. 2. Tom is 9 years old. Bill is 9 years old. Here, Tom and Bill are sharing or are the same age. And I want to join these two sentences to become one sentence. So the sentence should be, Tom is the same age as Bill. Example number 3. Number 3, he is 1 meter 50 centimeters tall. She is 1 meter 60 centimeters tall. So here they are different. They aren't equal in their height, and I want to join them together to become one sentence with the word same. So here we use same, not plus same. So the sentence should be, he is not the same height as she. He is not the same height as she. Number 4. Ali's car is white. Bill's car is black. Two sentences joined together to become one with the word same. So the sentence should be, Ali's car is not the same color as Bill's. Note, the same can also be used at the end of a sentence. Look, for example, this color is white. This color is white. So I want to join them together in one sentence by using the word same at the end. So the sentence should be, these two colors are the same. These two colors are the same. Let's practice. Choose the correct answer. Number 1. This scarf is the same, long, wide, length, high as that one. So what's the correct answer here? This scarf is the same, and you said before the same followed by noun. So A, long, B, wide, C, length, D, high. So the correct answer is C, length. This scarf is the same length as that one. Number 2, I am going to wear the A, the B, A, C, and D on same clothes as I wore yesterday. So what's the correct answer here? So the correct answer is the. So the must be preceded with the. Now let's talk about like, alike. Like, alike here are not adjectives, but they are used to make comparisons. Let's start with the word like. I am interested in sports. My father is interested in sports. So these two sentences join or become one sentence by using the word like to make comparison. So the sentence should be, like my father, I am interested in sports. It can be used at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. For example, like my father, I am interested in sports. Or I am interested in sports like my father. Number two, alike. Alike also here, it's another word. Here it's not adjective, but it is used to make comparison. Look for this. Look at this example. I am not interested in sports. My father is interested in sports. So I want to join them to become one with the word alike. So the sentence should be, unlike my father, I am not interested in sports. Or it can used in the middle or at the end of the sentence. So it said, I am not interested in sports unlike my father. In both cases, a comma separates them from the rest of the sentence. With the word unlike, the second sentence is in negative form. Let's practice. Choose the correct answer. Ali Ahmed hasn't got 90% in the examination. So what's the correct word here? A, like. B, alike. So the correct word is alike. Number two, my brother, I am interested in swimming. My brother, I am interested in swimming. What's the correct word here? A, like. B, alike. So the correct answer is A, like. Like my brother, I am interested in swimming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. See you in the next lesson.